What's good, family? Chiefdryno is live. Give me a break. Gotta plug the mic in. Right. It's always good to have a mic in. Yeah, what's good, family? Chiefdryno is live. Yeah, what's happening? Today is the 26th of March, 2019. I've decided to come on live to have a chat with the family. It's not been very easy for me these days since I've been very busy with my occupation, but it's always a must to allocate time to talk to the family. I started this YouTube channel for the purpose of, educating and promoting Pan-Africanism, right? And in my lifetime, I would love to see a united Africa, a United States of Africa, as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said early on in the 60s. So it's always been my dream, that in my lifetime, it would be something great to witness, So yeah, believe it or not, we are all creating history. Okay, we are all creating history, and everyone, it's a must that everyone contributes. Okay, it's a must that everyone contributes, and thankfully for the internet, YouTube and all that, we can all make a mark. We can all make a mark, and yeah, Africa is a goal. Africa is a prize. The prize. So let us all fix our eyes on the prize. All right, and let us take it. Okay, let us take it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the stream to my group as always. We will talk. Let's see who is online. I saw one person was waiting. Now let's see who was waiting. Let's see. Okay. Well, it seems might be a bit too early for you guys in the States, and early hours of the morning in Africa and everywhere else apart from Australia. It's currently 10 past 8. So yeah, if you're coming in, by all means you can watch the beginning on the replay. So yeah. Someone just joining. Let us know if you can hear me clearly, please, family. Thanks for joining the stream. We're going to talk about the AFCON, which is the African Cup of Nations, officially called CAF. Was it CAN? CAN? Coupe Afrique Coupe Afrique des Nations. I forgot my French right now. Can't speak French right at the moment. But yeah, Coupe d'Afrique des Nations. Okay, so that's what it is. African Cup of Nations. Yeah, so we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about Pan-Africanism. Okay. So for those of you who follow me, you would know that I have this segment of my channel called the Barber Shop. The Barber Shop. We are on episode 4. Whenever I go to have a haircut, I decide to use the opportunity to build with the family and connect with the family. we talk about current affairs and their political views and stuff like that. So it's always interesting to engage the family and not just go have a haircut and go back home. You know, so it's just something I've taken upon myself to do, and also promote Africans here in Australia to the rest of the world. There's this stigma, or should I say, media propaganda about Africans in Australia. I'm sure a lot of you would have heard of the so-called African gangs here in Melbourne, in Sydney. It is up to us to tell our own stories, and this is exactly what I'm doing. So I'm bringing the African community to the rest of Australia and to the rest of the world, showing everybody that we are just as everybody else is. So yeah, it was quite good. Every time I go, it gets very, very, very interesting. So the episode 4 is on my channel at the moment. It's 2 hours long. A lot of you complain about how long my videos are. This is why there is a fast forward button on the videos. You can change the speed of the video. You can watch the video in 2 times speed. Okay, so there is no excuse. There is no excuse for anyone to complain about how long a video is. If a video is long, watch them in segments. Watch a bit of it and come back to it. It's not that hard. People would choose to watch whatever they want to watch. Okay, but it is necessary, no matter how long a video is, the information is what's important. At least for me, I understand that very well. The information is what's important. So watch the videos in segments, and by no means, no one is forcing you to sit down and watch a 2-hour YouTube video in one sitting. You don't have to do that. You can always watch them in segments. So yeah, or just fast forward to whatever you feel interesting to listen to. So yeah, what I would do with the barbershop episodes is I will do highlights of them. Okay, and then I'll post the highlights so people get more interested in it. But it is by far, I think, one of the best segments on my channel, which brings you the everyday lifestyle in Footscray, which is one of the hubs of African Australians. I don't really like that term, African Australian. It's too seedy. I don't really like it, and for a fact that we're all Australians. European Australians, Australians of European ancestry don't go around calling themselves European Australians. So why must we people from Africa call ourselves African Australians? We are simply Africans or Australians. So it is what it is. And so I don't really like the term African Australian, but for the sake of argument, we'll use that. Okay, so yeah. A segment of my channel again is to promote the family here, the African family here, to the rest of the world, and tell our own stories. Tell our own stories. Yeah. So I'm not sure if anyone is going to join me right now, apart from the one person watching who doesn't want to announce themselves or him or herself. Please let us know when you come in. Let us know who you are and ask a question, and I shall answer it. So yeah, without much ado, I'm going to share my stream, which I haven't done yet. So I'll share this quickly, and then we shall talk about the African Cup of Nations. 2019. Boy, this is very, very controversial, and it is very, very interesting. So yeah. Just a moment, please, family. So as always, got good family. Chiefdryno is going live. So please join me, if you may. Right. All right, so I've just shared my stream, and hopefully I'll get some of the guys, you know, from the chat in here. Wadamaya is in my chat. You know, I know Wadamaya is in love. He's in love with Miss Trudy. Oh boy. So you know, this is a bit controversial, but I feel like Wadamaya has been pressured. Wadamaya has been pressured to date an African girl. after what everyone has, you know, the shit that, excuse my language, after nearly everyone else has dragged Wadamaya through the mud for dating a Chinese girl. I mean, come on. These things are, as always, you know me, Chiefdryno, I see these things are irrelevant. Okay, so mediocre. All right. People accusing other people of who they sleeping with. Like that is so personal. Like, how does that affect you in any way? How does that put food on your table? How does that put clothing on you? How does that give you shelter? It just doesn't matter. It's not a basic necessity. Why do people take it upon themselves to worry about who other people are dating? It's so absurd, right? There's so many problems facing humanity, especially African people, that we can talk about. But worrying about who is having sex with whom, I find that very, very, you know, it beats my mind. It just completely beats my mind that we dedicate our time to worry about who is sleeping with whom, when there are bigger issues to tackle. You know, like the flood and the was it a cyclone, the destruction left behind by the cyclone, what's the name, A.D.O.S. or whatever, that hit Mozambique. Okay, these are issues that we need to be worried about, not who is sleeping with whom. But anyway, so Wadamaya is a very good mate of mine, and I'm happy for him that he's found love with an African girl, but that shouldn't be our topic of the day. But anyway, it is YouTube, so yeah. Welcome to the stream. I've got a second person with me at the moment, so let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, just so we know who is here with me. Now, the African Cup of Nations 2019 is set. All the qualifying games have been played, and the groups are set. For the first time in history, it's now 24 teams in the African Cup of Nations, which is great. So we have Group F, which is really, really good. You know, the African Cup of Nations is shrouded in Pan-Africanism. Okay, it's shrouded in Pan-Africanism. The sole purpose of the African Cup of Nations is to bring everyone everyone of African descent together. Okay, soccer was the biggest sport, coming for people, back in the day. It's what united so many people, and the African Cup of Nations is no exception. It's no exception. So the good thing is the African Cup of Nations is organized. It's by A.D.O.S. So it's organized every 2 years. So it's great that it prepares the African teams for the World Cup as well. And above all, it's unity. Okay, it's unity when we can all come together and enjoy and play games and have a laugh, share laughter. Have some fun together. Have some fun together. And the good things, there's so many positive sides to these kind of tournaments and events. So yeah, Pan-Africanism, the African Cup of Nation is no exception to, and it falls under the umbrella of Pan-Africanism. Okay, so yeah, on a more interesting note, and for fun factor, we can all go and have fun and support our teams and wave our flags, but in all these, we know that we are united as a united Africa. So the talk, the rhetoric that Africans are divided, Africans are this and that, the African Cup of Nations, shows you that you are as ignorant as you can be. Okay, because Africans can actually, come together and organize something like this. Okay, can come together and organize something like this. And, when it comes to football or soccer in Africa, my favorite part is the vuvuzela. Okay, the vuvuzela. Okay, you know how Africans always do. We're always loud. We're always vigorous. We're full of vim. We love to celebrate, and we do it with a lot of passion. And a lot of joy. So yeah. I will share my screen and I'll read to you a little bit of the history of the African Cup of Nations, and the African Cup of Nations 2019 was scheduled to be held in Cameroon, but it got taken off Cameroon, and other countries had to bid for it, and it was Egypt and South Africa that bidded for it, and obviously, overwhelmingly, Egypt won the bid. Okay, it was like the vote was like 20-1, so 20-1. So yeah, overwhelmingly, Egypt. Everyone voted that Egypt hosted. And Egypt is the most successful cup holder. They had a treble. I think 2010, 2011, 12, was it? They held it 3 times in a row in succession. So they've held the African Cup 7 times. So the most successful nation in Africa to hold the African Cup of Nations. So it's befitting that they host it. Okay, they host it. But a lot of people are complaining that their stadiums are not good enough, but to me, it's good enough. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. So yeah, go Egypt. Egypt's passion whenever they hold, or any nation's passion whenever they hold the cup, they bound to win it. So who knows? Egypt might be going for an 8th African Cup of Nations glory, but we'll see. But throughout the qualification, it's been really, really interesting. Tanzania qualified for the first time in 39 years. And guess what? The president of Tanzania, John Magufuli, okay, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name really well, he has allocated the team players with land, and going down the political lane. Okay, Magufuli had brought in a lot of change to Tanzania. And Tanzania, it's a very prosperous African country, very, very beautiful. Okay, very, very beautiful East African country, and Magufuli is doing a great job being president. So yeah, he's allocated land for the Tanzanian soccer team, which is really great. It's a great incentive for these people to keep doing what they're doing. And who knows what else they will achieve if they end up winning the African Cup of Nations 2019, because they, in their last game, they really thrashed Uganda 3-0. So who knows? And South Africa qualified as well. They were the last to qualify, beating Libya 2-1. So Libya failed to qualify. I'm not too sure about the political atmosphere in Libya at the moment, but since the fall of Gaddafi, I know the country has been in turmoil. I don't know how the government is functioning in Libya at the moment, but for them to put a soccer team together and participate in an African event, I really applaud you, people of Libya. I hope you can get your country back on track. The beautiful, beautiful country that you have, beautiful Pan-African flag as well. I really appreciate your country and people of Libya. So if you guys can come and you guys can put your acts together, it's gonna look good for Africa. So yeah, peace and blessings to the family in Libya. Yeah, so yeah, welcome to the stream. We're talking about the AFCON 2019, which is going to be held in Egypt on the 21st of June 2019, and it'll be played right through to July 19th, 2019. So this is really great. Once again, it brings the entire continent of Africa together. So we really appreciate this. And I was born in Ghana, so my favorite team is the Black Stars of Ghana. Okay, I just love Ghana's soccer team with passion. Okay, even though they're not the best in Africa. Okay, even though they're not the best in Africa, I love Ghana's soccer team with passion. So yeah, I hope they will do really well. Ghana had been dominating in the African Cup of Nations for so many years, but new champions are here. We're talking about Egypt, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Algeria. So yeah. This is Africa football, not soccer. Right. My bad. Sorry, family. Yeah. Well, yeah. Football, right? In Australia we have football as well, but if you say football, we're talking about the Aussie rules, and they actually play with their hands as well. So yeah, it's bizarre, but yeah, I know it makes sense to call it football because it's the only game that you play with your feet. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, welcome to the stream. This is Africa. Thanks for joining the stream. And I noticed you subscribed. Thank you for the subscription. I will return the favor. Yeah. Let's see if I can subscribe to you back if I haven't subscribed already. All right, we'll do that now. Subscribed. That's it. Subscribed. So yeah. Oh, I see you've got videos on Watermaya. Watermaya, first time in Kenya. Yeah, you've got a swell channel. Wow, excellent. Well, good to be on board, family. Asante sana. Asante. Karibu. That's Swahili, right? You're speaking Swahili to me. My Swahili is pretty bad, huh? Mambo, mambo, right? Mambo, mambo BP, mambo pua, right? Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait. Do you know that I am of Rwandan descent? I am actually of Rwandan descent, so it's a must that I learn Swahili. My son, I have a 2-year-old son. His name is Kai, and it's Swahili. Okay, my boy's name is Kai, which is Swahili, which means lovely. So yeah, there we go. Yeah. So the controversy that Cameroon is going through, especially during the election time. I think, when did they have the election this year? It wasn't this year, it was late last year. And Biya, was it Paul Biya? 80-plus-year-old, cheers. 80-plus-year-old man still holding the seat of power. I mean, this is really sad. Okay, this is really sad. And you have one in Algeria as well. They recently had a protest. Okay, the youth in Algeria had a protest against Bouteflika, who has been in power for like over 20 years. Okay, so the youth don't want to have it, and these things. It's about time African countries start boycotting these African leaders that want to keep holding on to power. They need to sanction them, i.e., moving the African Cup of Nations from Cameroon. It's really great. Okay, it would teach them a lesson. It would teach them a lesson. Okay. Africa needs to move forward, and we need to get rid of old ideologies. We need to embrace the new, and this is how we can achieve the Agenda 2063 of the African Union. All right, so it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The youth are not gonna have it anymore. So it is gonna happen. So yeah, one more thing for the month of March. There's been a whole lot of countries in Africa that celebrated their independence. So, as you know, from the 50s upwards to current date, you would notice that a whole lot of African countries have gained independence from their colonial powers, and it's solely because of Africa's participation in World War II and one, because Africans participated in World War I and World War II, fighting for their colonial masters. Okay, so when these Africans came back from the war, they knew that they are capable of managing their own affairs and capable of standing up to the European. Okay, so they noticed that the European could bleed just as they bleed. So yeah, they stood up to European, and in less than 10 years, I think Egypt got independence in 1956. It's the same as Tunisia, Morocco. A whole lot of African countries started getting independence. Ghana in 1957. So yeah, shout out to when Ghana had independence. Morocco first had independence on the 2nd of March. I was going to cover that, but I do have Moroccan descent as well, about 60% Moroccan Berber. So I am really proud of my Moroccan ancestry. So Morocco had independence on the 2nd of March, 1956. But before then, the royal family of Morocco was exiled because they were causing a lot of uprising against the colonial French power. So they exiled the royal family of Morocco, and but then it didn't stop the movement. So Morocco got independence from Spain and France in 1956 on the 2nd of March 1956. But when the royal family was returned, they moved the celebrations to the 18th of November. So yeah, 18th of November is actually Morocco Day. They just celebrate their Independence Day on the 18th of November, but officially it is the 2nd of March 1956. So yeah, Ghana had her independence on the 6th of March 1957. Subsequently, I did a long stream on that one, Ghana's independence, and how it was so essential. What's the word I'm looking for? Quintessential part of Black liberation, Black freedom, So Ghana, as you all know, is a gateway to Africa. So the Black Star of Africa. So yeah, Ghana's independence is so significant for Black people worldwide. And the presence of Nkrumah's vision for Africa and everything else. Pan-Africanism was at the forefront of it, and it was beautiful to see that all the African countries at the time understood what it was to be united. They knew what it was to be united, so they were all on board. The first Pan-Africanist convention or summit in Africa. You had Morocco, I think Algeria, Egypt. There were 8 countries that were part of it. So being that only 8 countries were independent on the African continent at that time. So yeah. Tunisia also, no, Mauritius also had her independence on the 12th of March 1968. So I have a video on Mauritius, which is actually trending. I have about 300 views at the moment on Mauritius independence. It is a very short video. So it is a 5 minutes video, and I'm still struggling to get the family to watch it. Okay, 5 minutes video, but they'll rather watch a controversial topic, something that would uplift our morale and spirit. Okay, they wouldn't watch that, but they'll rather watch controversial topics. So, but it is what it is. Okay, our people, we just love drama. We love drama. So yeah, Mauritius Independence Day on the 12th of March 1968. We have Tunisia on the 20th of March 1956. So again, I was going to cover that, but I just got too occupied with my daily life. Namibia also had independence on the 21st of March 1990. Namibia was a German colony. Namibia was German colony, but the Namibia's colony was taken away from Germany after Germany lost the World War II. So it was put under South African protectorate. So in 1990, Namibia got its independence from South Africa, which is bizarre, but because South Africa's apartheid government was overseeing Namibia, so Namibia got independence from the apartheid South African government. And what was going to happen? You cannot press people forever in their own homeland. So South Africa went forward to gain independence as well in April. I think the 4th of April 1994. So yeah, I've marked that. I'm gonna actually do a stream on that. I'm going to do a stream on South Africa's independence. So South Africa, I think, is the last country in Africa to gain independence in 1994. Okay, that is sickening. Okay, 1994. Okay, less than 30 years ago. Okay, less than 30 years ago. So Yeah, so yeah, kudos to all the African countries that got independence in March. Again, we have Morocco, 12th of March, Ghana, 6th of March, Mauritius, the 12th of March, Tunisia, the 20th of March, and we have Namibia, the 21st of March. So yeah, yeah, if you want to read about it, you can go look for these articles on. I'll put the articles in the description box, and you can have a look at their independence celebrations. And it's very, very important that we Africans celebrate each other's Independence Day. So it is part of being Pan-African. Yeah. So what else can I talk about? Yeah. So I will, without much ado, I will go ahead and I will go ahead and share some of the articles about. So yeah, Egypt is hosting the AFCON, the African Cup of Nations 2019, and let's see. Let me share my screen. Application window. Share. Broadcast to everyone. All right. So yeah, we have here this article from Soccer Lay Duma. So yeah, 6 AFCON stadiums revealed. So we have one. So I'll read a short article. After South Africa became the final team to qualify for the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, here are the 6 stadiums that will host the tournament in Egypt. So click here click through the gallery. Okay, I'll read this article. Egypt will stage the 2019 AFCON after Cameroon were stripped of the hosting rights, as confirmed by Confederation of African Football (CFA) in January. The 2019 tournament will be the first edition with 24 teams taking part and will be played out in 6 stadiums, according to Egypt Football Association (EFA). We had initially proposed 8 sides for the tournament, but after an inspection by CAF delegation, we choose only 6. EFA spokesman Ahmed Megahead told BBC. Among the 6 venues is the Cairo International Stadium, which can hold up to 75,000 spectators, as well as the controversial Port Said Stadium. The Port Said Stadium, there was a stampede that killed okay, I'm going to read it here. The latter achieved infamy, so it's infamous for this. The latter achieved infamy in 2012 when more than 70 people sadly passed away in Egypt's worst stadium tragedy after a riot broke out during a league game between Al-Masri and Al-Ali. However, the stadium was subsequently renovated and the home team was only allowed to return in 2018. So yeah, they were banned for 6 years. The Air Force Stadium replaced the Al Salam Stadium, which at times hosts Al-Ali matches and was on the original list, in order to have enough time to prepare for the tournament, because the Egyptian top flight only finishes close to 21st June. When the showpiece kicks off, it was decided then to replace it with the Air Force Stadium, which is also called the June 30 Stadium, Megahead explained. So the other 3 stadiums are the Ismaila Stadium, the Suez Sports Stadium, and Alexandria Stadium. But the EFA is yet to confirm which stadium will host the semifinals and final. So yeah, so images in this article are from stadiumb.com. and worldstadiums.com. So yeah. We have a couple of comments here. Someone says below average stadiums. I mean, these people are just detractors. These people are just detractors. You know, why would you make such a comment? Okay, they unappreciative. Okay, I'll never knock anyone's hustle like that. You know, these are beautiful stadiums in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion, but you know, this is only a starter. Okay, for starters, it's gonna get better. It's always going to get better for Africa. I am optimistic. Okay, I am optimistic that the future is really bright for Africa. It will get better. It will really get better. So yeah, Sky Days. You would swear these are big stadiums when they are full. We should start building such stadiums for our team. Okay, these are kind of the comments that I love to read. Okay, very optimistic comments. Okay, so yeah, good on you, Sky Days. M Maxongo said we will be ready and prepared. Okay, this is also another positive comment that I enjoy to read. Okay, so yeah, you know, detractors like these person here, facts versus opinions. Okay, you know, we don't need your opinions here. Okay, it does us no good. All right, so for those of you who are watching, I will just quickly go through the stadiums. Okay, click here. Does this work? The link doesn't work. So the link doesn't work to the stadium, but I'll just go through. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. Control plus. You can see the stadiums. Okay, so this one is the Cairo International Stadium with a capacity of 74,100 people. Okay, it's a beautiful stadium. The one here. It's a beautiful stadium. B1 for live. Blessings to you, family. Thank you for joining the stream. Blessings, Chief. Have to finish watching the stream later today because it's after 5:30 a.m. Yeah, right. I apologize. Okay, I'm sorry for the time zones, but yeah, you know how it is. You can always catch the rest of the stream anytime. It's on YouTube. Okay, on YouTube. So we have the Cairo International Stadium. Okay, again. So here is the Air Force Stadium with a capacity of 30,000. So basically, the low capacity stadiums are going to be used for the group matches. Okay, so the group matches. So the next stadium is the Air Force Stadium. Again, I showed you that before, 30,000. We have this Suez Sports Stadium, which has capacity of 27,000. So this is also a very small stadium, which would be used for the group games. Okay. We have the Suez again. There's another image of the Suez. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you can see, but at this Suez, when you look at the Suez stadium, the backdrop there, okay, the backdrop, this is the Egyptian flag. I cannot see any other flag here, but might be the club flags. But over here, this flag here is the African Union flag. Okay, this flag here is the African Union flag. So Egypt is at the forefront of Pan-Africanism and the African Union. And there was this article that I was reading about, and actually I'll finish this, but I'll give you a side story about Fatia Nkrumah. So that is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's wife. who was Egyptian. She passed away in 2000, I think 2007, and she died in Egypt. Okay, she died in Egypt after Nkrumah was overthrown in Ghana. She moved to stay in Egypt, but Nkrumah's children have been in Ghana, and I think Nkrumah's daughter was actually a member of parliament in Ghana. So Nkrumah's children have been really, really involved in Ghanaian politics and Ghanaian state of affairs. And it's just beautiful to see the union between Ghana and Egypt. Okay. So it's beautiful. All right. The union between Ghana and Egypt. And I do have a friend who's from Ghana and married to a very beautiful Egyptian girl. And they have 2 kids together, very beautiful kids. So this is all in Pan-Africanism as well. So yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, there you go. This is a Pan-African flag. Okay. The African Union flag, to say, yeah, diplomatically. Okay. That's the African Union flag. Okay. So we'll just keep going through the stadiums. Okay. Here is the Alexandria Stadium, which is another small stadium. It looks pretty big and it probably needs an upgrade. The pitch is really big, but it needs an upgrade to sit more people. So yeah, you know, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. I have high hopes that they're going to do it. The next one is, again, the Alexandria. Okay. 22,000. We have one here, the Ismailia, 18,000. Ismailia Stadium, 18,500. So another beautiful stadium, but the capacity is very, very small. Capacity is very small. Again, the Ismailia Stadium, very beautiful stadium. We have Port Said Stadium, another small stadium, capacity 17,000, but very beautiful stadium by the ocean there, which is very beautiful. Okay. What is the last one? So the sitting of the supporters there, Port Said Stadium. So yeah, that's all it. Okay, so I will also go through, say, the African Cup of Nations 2019. I'll read a little bit of it, the Wikipedia. So the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, known as the Total 2019 Africa Cup of Nations, is scheduled to be the 32nd edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, the biennial International Men's Football Championship of Africa, organized by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. The competition will be held from the 21st of June to 19th of July 2019, as per the decision of the CAF Executive Committee on 20th of July 2017, to move the Africa Cup of Nations from January or February to June, July for the first time. So, you know, the election environment in Cameroon didn't permit these things to happen. So yeah, you know, it was pretty brutal in Cameroon, but yeah, I'm glad things are settling down now in Cameroon. Hopefully things are. So it will be the first Africa Cup of Nations expanded from 16 to 24 teams. So it's going to make it more exciting. So yeah, if you want to read it, I'll put the article in the description box. Okay, so there we go. So the bids for it: Algeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast. And the rejected bids, you have Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Uganda. I can't believe Liberia wants to host the African Cup of Nations when they are so much driven into poverty. So yeah, Liberia, you have to get your acts together, family. Get your acts together. Okay, seek help if you need help, please. Sierra Leone, Senegal would have been a great one. Senegal would have been a great one to host it. But Nigeria lost the bid for it as well. Malawi, I love the Malawian flag, beautiful Pan-African flag. The Kenyan flag also has to be one of the best looking flags in Africa. Zambia, Zimbabwe, very, very beautiful flags. So yeah, the bids, Egypt and South Africa, overwhelmingly Egypt won the bid. Okay. So I think the votes, Egypt was 16 votes to 1 vote for South Africa. So yeah, yeah, there we go. I think here is the qualifiers. Okay, qualified are the purple. The pink is, or orange is, failed to qualify, and the black is withdrew. So you have Somalia withdrew. We have Chad. This is Chad. We withdrew. And I think this will be Eritrea or Djibouti. So I think it would be Eritrea, because I think Djibouti played. And we have here, this looks like Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone. Yeah, I think that is Sierra Leone. Withdrew. So yeah, there you go. So these are the countries that qualified. We have Egypt, Madagascar, Tunisia, Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, Uganda, Guinea, Algeria, Mauritania, Ivory Coast, Kenya. Okay, Kenya and Ghana had a really good showdown. Okay, they played they gave us a really good game, final, and both are the top of the group stage, so they qualified. Both teams qualified out of the group stage, and Ghana beat Kenya 1-0. So Kenya beat Ghana at home, and Ghana beat Kenya at home. So, which was really good. We have Angola, Burundi, Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, Namibia, Tanzania, Congo, Benin. Benin beat Togo. So you have Tanzania. Yeah, and I told you the story about Tanzania, how the Tanzanian president John Magufuli gave the Tanzanian soccer team land just for qualifying because they haven't participated in African Cup of Nations in 39 years. And also we have South Africa. So South Africa is a winners in 2015. 2017, the winners was Congo. Okay, Congo won in 2017. We have, I think, Cape Verde. Cape Verde didn't qualify. So Seychelles played, but they did not qualify. Mauritius didn't qualify. Did Mauritius qualify? No, Mauritius didn't qualify. So Mauritians love soccer as well. Mauritians love soccer. So football. Excuse me. Ghana winners in 1963, 1965, and 1975. So back to back, Ghana won it back to back. Ghana won in 1963 and 1965, and then 1978, and then 1982, but then haven't won it again since 1982. So we have Ivory Coast won it in 1992. I think they beat Ghana in 1992 and won that. And you have 2015. That was a beautiful squad. Not one of the best squad in Africa at the time, 2015. Okay, you have Drogba. Okay, Drogba, you have Kalu. The team was so good. Emmanuel Iboe. I mean, Ivory Coast team at the time was the best. Okay, it was the best. They were very, very successful. Mali was really good too, but Mali didn't qualify this time. Oh, Mali qualified. Yes, Mali qualified. So we have the Yaya Toure and Kolo Toure. So yeah. We have Nigeria winning it in 1980 and 1994 and 2013. So we have Morocco winning it in 1976. And we have Senegal. Senegal runners up in 2002. So they had a really good team, and they do have a really good team now. So they'll be a force to reckon with. Tunisia won it in 2004. I always love the Tunisian side. The North Africans have a lot of pace. They have a lot of speed, and I always love watching North Africans play because the games are full of speed. They play like more like Europeans, really. But yeah, very energetic game there from the North Africans. Madagascar is debuting for the first time. So yeah, congratulations to Madagascar. Yeah, and overall, you know, the boss of AFCON, okay, is Egypt. Win overall 7 times and won it 7 times, 1957, 1959. So subsequently, you know, in succession, two in a row. 1986, 1999, 1998, 2006, 2008, and 2010. That was it. So in succession, okay. In succession, 6 years in a row, they won the African Cup of Nations. So Egypt is the most successful country when it comes to the African Cup of Nations, and it's beautiful that Egypt is hosting it in 2019, and they might win it again. So they might win it again. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, that was a little bit of the history. Let's see if we can find a bit of the photos. These are the stadiums. This is the Cairo International Stadium, which will sit about 75,100 people. So, but I'm pretty sure this is where the final is going to be hosted or held. The opening ceremony is definitely going to be here. 75,000 people. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. Why no image? So here's the Al Salem Stadium, which is about 30,000. And map of Egypt. This is the Sinai Peninsula. Israel is right here. Israel is just here. So yeah, Egypt, which is Africa, is right here. Okay, Egypt is here, and you cross the border is Israel. Okay, so Israel is right on the African continent, and here's Saudi Arabia and Jordan and stuff like that. So all these people are of African descent. All right. This is the GDEG Alexandria Stadium. So yeah, beautiful stadium, very beautiful weather. So yeah, June is going to be summer. I think summer in the northern hemisphere. So I hope it's not too hot. Egypt is notorious for being very hot. Yeah. So yeah, these are the beautiful stadiums. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. So yeah. What else can I talk about? So the groups. Yeah. There's the group stages. So yeah, I'll put the article in the description box. You can just go and have a look at it. So yeah. There. What else did I want to share? No, not that. Namibia. Okay, a bit of history there. So yeah, that was the article that I was talking about, the Tanzania president. So Tanzania president gift football team with land. So Dar es Salaam, Tanzania President John Magufuli has gifted the national team players with parcels of land as token for qualifying to the Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt. On Sunday, Tanzania thumped East African rivals Uganda 3-0 to reach the finals of for the first time in 39 years. I am very happy for the honor you've brought to our nation, President Magufuli told the Taifa Stars players and members of the technical bench at State House in Dar es Salaam for the good work you have done to bring honor to Tanzania by qualifying for the AFCON finals in Egypt. Each player will get a parcel of land in Dodoma, the administrative capital. Oh, that's beautiful. Added the Tanzanian President Magufuli. So this is great. This is great incentives. When we talk about incentives, okay, this is excellent incentives, okay, for the players to even do better. So if every other African country can incentivize their team to do such, I mean, give them such benefits, it would just cause them to perform better. Okay, so I know the Federation, the Football Association or whatever of Ghana is corrupt to the bone. It's corrupt to the bone. So yeah, a lot of these things, the players are not even being paid. So yeah, it's corruption to the bone, okay, for some other countries. But this is a positive news coming out of Tanzania. You know that Tanzania is doing very, very well economically. Okay, so when you get rid of corruption, okay, your country is going to perform really well. Okay, so this should be a message to the entire continent of Africa. Okay, wherever you're watching me from, okay, if you're watching me from Africa, wherever you're watching me, if you're African, okay, get rid of corruption. Okay, you get rid of corruption, your country is going to perform really, really well. Okay, and Africa is going to rise to the top if we get rid of corruption. Okay, and tribalism. Okay, tribalism. Okay, so if we get rid of tribalism first, it will put an end to corruption anyway, automatically. So yeah, I believe our players can put up a better show in Cairo and go one place better by winning the title. Yes. So I mean, if you're gifting the players land, they will give their all. They will give their all. So yeah, I mean, it's promising thumping Uganda 3-0. I mean, that's great. That's great. So you have a high scoring team there. So yeah, it's really good. It's goals that matter. So it's when you have countries like Ghana, Ghana's team, Nigeria's team, they're really, really good, but they're very, very skillful. And they put all their emphasis on being on the skill part of it, but they do not score goals. Okay, they do not score goals. So when you have a team that scores three goals, I mean that's a better prospect for me, actually. So yeah, coached by former Nigerian international Emmanuel Amunike, Tanzania ended the qualifying process with 8 points in second place behind Uganda, who topped the Group L standings with 13 points. Taifa Stars bounced back into contention for a place in the finals after 2 losses to Cape Verde. So Cape Verde actually played. Cape Verde played in the qualification, but just didn't make it. And Lesotho in qualifying. So there we go. There we have it. What else did I want to share? Little history of the African Cup of Nations. So the CAF Africa Cup of Nations, officially the CAN Coupe d'Afrique des Nations, also referred to as AFCON or Total Africa Cup of Nations, for sponsorship reasons, is the main international association football competition in Africa. It is sanctioned by the Confederation of African Football, CAF, and was first held in 1957. Since 1968, so 1957, who hosted it? Sudan, hosted by Sudan, okay, in 1957. Since 1968, it has been held every 2 years. The title holders at the time of FIFA Confederation Cup qualifier for the competition. In 1957, there were only 3 participating nations. That's Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia. So basically, these were the only countries that were independent in Africa at that time, I suppose. No, because Morocco had independence in 1956, but I just don't know yet. Okay. So South Africa was originally scheduled to compete, but were disqualified. So this here is one of the reasons why apartheid also was ended, because South Africa was not allowed in so many events concerning Africa, because it was an oppressive apartheid government. Okay, so in order for South Africa to take part in anything African, okay, they had to get rid of the apartheid. So yeah, one of the reasons why apartheid was let go. Okay, was let go. So South Africa was originally scheduled to compete, but were disqualified due to the apartheid policies of the government then in power. Since then, the tournament has grown greatly, making it necessary to hold a qualifying tournament. The number of participants in the final tournament reached 16 in 1998. So 16 teams were to compete in 1996, but Nigeria but we withdrew, reducing the field to 15. And the same happened with Togo's withdrawal in 2010. And in 2010, the World Cup 2010, Ghana gave us a really good show. The South African World Cup, okay, it was a really, really good show. I'll never forget that. It was freezing cold here in Melbourne, and we were out there supporting the African teams. Ghana took us really, really far. If it wasn't for that controversial hand of God by Luis Suarez, I would never forget. Okay, everyone was so upset, but yeah, it was. We all know Ghana won. Morally, Ghana won. Ghana won that game. But yeah, the 2010 was a great year not to forget, in memory of soccer players, in memory of football. Yeah. So, and until 2017, the format had been unchanged, with the 16 teams being drawn into 4 groups of 4 teams each. So, with the top 2 teams of each group advancing to a knockout stage. On 20th of July 2017, the African Cup of Nations was moved from January to June and expanded from 16 to 24 teams. So Egypt is the most successful nation in the Cup's history, winning the tournament a record of 7 times, including when Egypt was known as the United Arab Republic. Okay, between 1958 and 1961. So I'm glad they got rid of that. So 3 different trophies have been awarded during the tournament history, with Ghana and Cameroon winning the first 2 versions to keep, after each of them won the tournament 3 times. The current trophy was first awarded in 2002, and with Egypt winning it indefinitely after winning their unprecedented 3rd consecutive title in 2010. So yeah, they've won the cup for keeps, basically. So that's a little bit of the background of the history of the AFCON. So yeah, you have the 1950s, the origin. 1950s, 60s, the origin of the African Cup of Nations. And the first one was held in Khartoum, Sudan. Okay, so Sudan. Now we have South Sudan and North Sudan. We have Sudan and South Sudan, but I hope they can unite again. So South Africa. So South Africa's insistence on selecting only white players for their squad gave them a disqualified South Africa, because they were so racist. The apartheid regime was so racist. They would only select white players. Okay, we don't want that. We don't want that. So yeah, we don't want that. Yeah, so that automatically disqualifies South Africa. But yeah, we have South Africa playing now, and they have a very beautiful team, and we love the football atmosphere, the soccer atmosphere from South Africa with the vuvuzela. So yeah, the AFCON 2019 is going to be full of vuvuzela. So yeah, we have 1960s, the Ghanaian domination. So 1963, Ghana made its first appearance as it hosted the event, and then won the title by beating Sudan in the final. So yeah, I have a friend from Sudan, and he visited Ghana, and he said Ghana was really, really beautiful. So Ghana repeated that as they became the champions 2 years later in Tunisia, equaling Egypt as 2 times winners. So yeah, and The last tournament, I think Egypt beat Ghana, and also beat Ghana in the World Cup qualifying. So Egypt has always been a thorn in the flesh of on the backside of the Ghana soccer team. So yeah, they all beat our rivals, and it's all good fun. So the return of South Africa. So maybe I'll read a bit of this. In 1990, Nigeria lost once again as they made their third final appearance in the four tournaments, this time falling to host Algeria. So yeah, Algeria hosted it and then won it. In 1992 Cup of Nations, expanded the number of final tournaments participants to 12. The teams were divided into blah, 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 blah. So yeah, this is the time of Abedi Pele. Okay, great player. Where's the South African part? Okay. I'll leave the article in the description box. You guys can check it out. So we have Egypt against Cameroon at the 2008 African Cup of Nations. We have 2019 African Cup, 2017 the previous one, 2017 African Cup of Nations won by Cameroon. So it was basically whoever wins the African Cup of Nations gets to host it. So Cameroon won in 2017. They were meant to host it in 2019, but obviously got stripped off them. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, all this article is from Wikipedia, so you can go check it out. Yeah, beautiful map of Africa there. Beautiful map of Africa there. So, yep. Yeah, so basically that ends the topic on the AFCON 2019. I am looking forward to it. The qualifying has been very, very beautiful. Brother Holip, welcome to the stream. Bearing the midnight oil. Yeah, salute to you, brother. Salute to you. You know my favorite quotes, right, Brother Holip? The height at which great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, was a companion slept, were toiling throughout the night. Okay, all right. This is my favorite quote. Okay, this is my favorite quote. So yeah, you know, my company. Okay, night shift is 50% loading. Can you believe that, Brother Holip? My company's night shift is 50% loading. So they are already on like $45 an hour, and plus loading. Oh geez, they would nearly 70%, $70 an hour. Yep, that's how much they getting paid for night shift. So the midnight oil is really. Are you, Brother Holip, are you considering relocating to Australia? You should. You should. This is where the money is. The money is here. I'm telling you, right? I'm telling you. And it's really, they're struggling because a lot of the manufacturing have moved offshore, especially to China and Asia. All our car manufacturing companies which used to employ a lot of mechanical engineers, and I graduated with a mechanical engineering qualification degree, and it's hard to find work. It's hard. It's very difficult, and luckily I landed myself in a company that makes products for an engineering company that makes products for Rio Tinto, the mining companies in Western Australia. So the mining industry is still booming in Australia because of China. China buys a lot of iron ore. So my company is doing quite well. It's doing quite well. But so many companies are moving offshore. So yeah, a lot of Australians manufacturing companies are moving offshore. But eventually, you know what it is. China now moving into Africa, Brother Holip. China moving into Africa, well, because Africa has a lot of iron ore deposit, especially in Ghana. Ghana has a huge bauxite deposit, and China is going to be extracting a lot of that from the continent at a very, very cheap rate. Okay, even though, because Australia has a huge deposit of iron ore, but the prices are very expensive, and China can get that cheap for like nearly 1/3 the cost in Africa. So it's only the distance, but I guess China doesn't mind sending ships to Africa, other than getting resources from Australia. So eventually mining in Australia is going to go down, but what Australia is banking on is natural gas, and it's going to be natural gas. It's what gave rise to, I think, Kuwait, not Kuwait, Qatar. Is it Qatar? Yeah, natural gas. So yeah, there you go. So Australia is really, really blessed with natural resources, and same as Africa. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, if you want to relocate, especially African Americans with the American visa passport, okay, you are entitled to migrate to Australia. Okay, you'll be given residency in Australia if you're a citizen of the United States of America. So there you go. Take advantage of it. There are over 100,000 U.S. citizens residing permanently in Australia, and this includes African Americans as well. So by all means, take advantage of it. All right, make the most of it. Okay, you don't have to stay here indefinitely, but Australia's population is growing. Okay, it's estimated 50 million people by 2050. Okay, so in 30 years, Australia's population, currently 25, is estimated to multiply. So if you come and make Australia a home, build your business, imagine your business is really, really going to take off. All right, business is going to take off. So now that I have you here, Brother Holip, you have a question. My favorite quote is, "A wise man speaks because he has something to say, and a fool speaks because he has to say something." Oh yeah, I've heard you say that before. Actually, I heard you say that on Dinah's show. Yeah, that's great, brother. That's a great one. So yeah, I like that too. So yeah, as always, I fall in the spectrum of wise people. Don't know. I'm blowing my own horn here, but yeah, I'd rather see myself as wise than stupid, really. So yeah, you summed it up for me, brother. So another thing I would want to point out, that this is going back to Pan-Africanism here, okay, at the moment. So this whole topic here is about the African Cup of Nations 2019, which is going to take place in Egypt. And I love the move by the African Cup of Nations, the Federation of African Football, okay, FIFA Confederation of African Football, okay, to move it from Cameroon because of the unrest in Cameroon at the moment. So they moved it to Egypt, which is great. And if Egypt hosted, they're more than likely to win it. So it's going to be a great atmosphere in Egypt for it, and it's Pan-Africanism at best. Okay, there's African Cup of Nations. It's Pan-Africanism at best. All right, so this is what Africans are doing. So here is another blow to the detractors and the naysayers that saying that Pan-Africanism doesn't work, or Africans hate each other, blah 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 blah. Okay, this is what's happening on the continent. Okay, this is what's happening on the continent. And I said before that I was reading this article about the former president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, his wife. Okay, her name is Fathia Nkrumah. Okay, Fathia Nkrumah, and see her in the Ghanaian. She's the first lady of Ghana. Okay, and it was the best move made by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to marry someone from Egypt, and till date, okay, Ghana has a very, very good relationship with Egypt. So, and Egypt is at the forefront of Pan-Africanism and the African Union. So there you have it. Okay, there you have it. So Fatia Nkrumah died died in Cairo. Yes, died in Cairo. But it's always been her dream to be reunited with her husband. Okay, so she was buried. She's buried in the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. So if you visit Ghana, you will see Fatia's Nkrumah's grave next to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, because they were buried together. It's always been her dream to be buried together with her husband. I think it is here. Fatia Nkrumah was born and brought up in Zaiton, can't pronounce that, sorry, a district of Cairo, to a Coptic Christian family. She was the third daughter of civil servant, died early. Fatia was raised by her mother single-handedly after her husband's death. That wasn't what I was looking for. Here, living in Ghana and later life. Fatia Mohammed was Nkrumah. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying Mohammed. Was a very young wife and mother of 3 very young children when her husband was overthrown in Ghana's first successful military coup d'etat on February 24th. And this coup d'etat was instigated by the United States of America, and the Canadian government. And basically, the Canadian High Commissioner made a comment, okay, highly suspect, okay. He said good riddance, okay. Basically, he said good riddance to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, because Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and his message of Pan-Africanism in the United States of Africa was just not great for the Western powers, so they had to remove Nkrumah. And they actually tried to kill Nkrumah. They planted a bomb. Okay, they planted a bomb on to kill Nkrumah before. Okay, and there was actually an article about a surviving person. It was a woman. They interviewed her. She survived the assassination attempt on Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So they've tried to kill Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and all fingers are pointing at the CIA, the American government, okay, of Canada and the United States of America. So yeah. Back to Fatia Nkrumah. She had to take her children to Cairo after Nkrumah was obviously overthrown, and she died in Cairo. She to be raised there while her husband went into exile. That's not what I was looking for. But actually, yeah, she's been buried next to her husband in Ghana. I read it somewhere. I forgot where I read it. All right. So, Dr. Soccer, interesting. Ghana has a very interesting history when it comes to soccer. It has an interesting history with the United States when it comes to the World Cup, and it's really beautiful. So yeah, Ghana loves beating the USA, and the USA loves beating Ghana. So yeah, they've both met each other 2 times in the World Cup, and it's been very, very interesting games between them. So yeah, Ghana and the USA have a very, very deep relationship. Okay, so this article came out on the 11th of March, 2019, after Ghana's independence celebration. I wanted to talk about that. It's going to be a short read. Okay, so basically, Shirley Ayokor Bachoi, Foreign Affairs Minister of Ghana. So Ghana slashes visa fees in the UK. So it's it's gearing towards reducing visa fees and eventually, erasing any visa fees, okay, for all the anyone of African descent in the diaspora. So yeah. Shirley Ayoko Botchway, Foreign Minister. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shirley Ayoko Botchway, has announced that the visa fee for entering Ghana from the United Kingdom, UK, has been reduced, adding that the move is expected to be replicated across the country's missions worldwide. Okay, so this is the keynote here. So yeah, eventually they're going to scrap it. It's going to be visa-free to Ghana. She made the announcement when she addressed members of the Ghanaian community, diplomats and business personalities, and others during the celebration of Ghana's 62nd independence anniversary in the UK on the 6th of March. Recounting the constraints that Ghana has faced, she nonetheless pointed out that there has been remarkable progress across the various sectors. The minister was particularly enthusiastic about gains made in the trade and investment sector. She applauded the growing relations between Ghana and the UK, saying it is transitioning from aid dependence. So this is another here. So Ghana depended a lot on aid. It's really sad. Ghana has a plethora of minerals, okay, from diamonds to anything, right, anything, okay, and Ghana is getting aid. It's so sad, okay, it's so sad. And Ghana is one of the poorest nations in the world, okay. Ghana is rich, okay, but the people are one of the poorest people in the world. So this is really sad, but I'm happy things are changing. Things are changing. Saying it is transitioning from aid dependency to dependence to one of trade and economic partnership. The growing relations between the two countries have seen the inauguration of the UK Ghana Business Council, which has informed the signing of a communique. According to the minister, this would further boost trade and investment relations between the two countries and prepare the grounds for improved relations as the Brexit negotiations approach a closure. And we know that that is not true. That is not true. They haven't come to any closure. So yeah, they haven't come to any closure. So eventually it's going to fade away. I'm pretty sure it's going to fade away. They're just going to go right back to joining the EU. And there's an article, I think I will go to that. Macron is highly calling for the EU Renaissance. Okay, Emmanuel Macron is calling for EU Renaissance. So Britain will have to rethink about their Brexit. Okay, when we all know when EU is called, when Macron is giving the dog whistle to call for an EU Renaissance, you know what's going to happen. Okay, it's all about going back to rape Africa and all the other countries, okay, that they can get their hands on. Basically, that's what it is. That's what the EU Renaissance is all about. On tourism, Ms. Botchway encouraged Ghanaians in the diaspora, people of African descent. So here, okay, this is a lot of the miseducation and misconceptions. Okay, when we talk of the diaspora, okay, this is the Minister of the Foreign Affairs, Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay, you saw her in Ghana commemorating the year of return. You saw her in the USA. Okay, this is it. Ghanaians in the diaspora. So this is specific. So the diaspora, okay, is of people of African descent all over the world. All over the world. So the diaspora does not mean that only people of Ghana, people of Nigeria, people of Benin or Togo or Egypt or South Africa. The diaspora describes everyone of African descent. Okay. So Ghanaians in the diaspora, people of African descent, and all well-wishers and lovers of freedom to ensure that the blots in Ghana's history would never reoccur. So I'm glad they're trying to fix things, but they're a bit slow. Okay, they're a bit slow. She encouraged Ghanaians to take advantage of the 2019 year of return. Okay, so there we go. So a lot of the Ghanaians have made the Western countries their home, and other African Americans are taking advantage of that. Okay, and Ghanaians are sitting back. Right now, lands in Ghana are being sold in dollars because Americans are going to Ghana and buying lands in Ghana. So yeah, you don't want to miss out if you're a Ghanaian national. You don't want to miss out. She encouraged Ghanaians to take advantage of the 2019 year of return celebrations to see at first-hand developments taking place in the country. And believe it or not, Ghana is changing. Ghana is changing steadily at a slower pace, but things are changing. Myself, I think I'll be pretty lost when I go back to Ghana, but next year I'm looking forward to going back to Ghana. So yeah, I'm hopeful that participating in this event will enable many of our compatriots to take the bold step of moving back home and contributing to the development of our motherland, she stated. Ghana's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Papa Owusu Ankoma, said his outfit had taken steps to reduce the barest minimum the involvement of Ghanaians in criminal activities in the UK. He emphasized the importance of strengthening the bond of friendship between the two countries. The UK's envoy to the Commonwealth, Philip Parnham, could not agree more when he took his turn to address the gathering. He was full of praise of Ghana's role in supporting not only the UK, but also the values of the Commonwealth, such as democracy, good governance, peace, mutual understanding, reconciliation. So yeah, I know Britain is very, very concerned about reconciliation. That's why Prince Philip was in Ghana recently. Okay. Which underscored the theme of the 2019 independence celebration. So the theme of Ghana's independence celebration is reconciliation. So obviously, you know, reconciling with African Americans in the diaspora as well, promoting the year of return 2019, which is a very, very smart move by Ghana. Okay, which is a very, very smart move by Ghana. And Ethiopia as well, giving anyone of African descent, okay, to arrive in Ethiopia without visa. Okay, without visa. So Ethiopia is the first country to ever do that, and that's great. That is fantastic. All right, that is just fantastic. So yeah. So Ghana's 62nd independence celebration was commemorated in the UK, also showcased the rich Ghanaian culture through food, performance, and regalia. So you can catch this on YouTube. Australia had a similar one, which I wasn't able to attend, but yeah, Australia had a good one too. I've attended a few ones, and Mauritius had a good one too here as well. So yeah. So as my channel progresses, as my channel grows, this is what I'll be doing. You know, going around and promoting Pan-Africanism. You know, on the street, interviewing Africans, Africans here in Australia. Or Australians of African descent. I would also, I am also interested in going to the outback of Australia. We call the hinterlands of Australia, like the Northern Territories, the desert areas where Aboriginal Australians live. I am interested in going to those places and, you know, doing some, you know, some humanitarian work there myself, some charity work. you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, so support Chiefdryno. Subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on a replay. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I have great intentions for our people, and I'll continue doing what I do. Okay, and I'm grateful. It's 420 2 subscribers. I got a subscriber today, 422 subscribers. So it's fantastic. All right, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And then yeah, as you know, I am holding it down for the family here in Australia. So yeah, I'm holding it down for the family here in Australia. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. This would be the last article. Okay. Macron said this before. Okay, this is from GhanaWeb.com. Macron seeks united EU front on China as President Xi Jinping visits France. And so, wherever China Xi Jinping visits, they're there to promote business. Okay, they're there to promote business. So, these people are afraid. Okay, Europe is afraid because the European economy is falling, and it's basically being held together by Germany and Britain. Okay, so it's basically just Germany's economy and British economy is what's holding Europe together. And France also, only because France is raping Africa of $500 billion a year. Okay, you take that $500 billion a year from France, France would be a shithole country. Okay, and I said this, all right? And I said this, watch this in the next 50 years. So it's been estimated, and whoever wrote the article, okay, pinned it with France, saying that by the year 2050, okay, Africa's economy will surpass France's economy. And you know why? Basically, by 2050, okay, Africans are going to say no to France. Okay, they're going to say no to France, no more colonial taxes. Okay, and France wouldn't have that $500 billion coming out of Africa any longer. So this is what's going to happen. All right, Africa for Africa, or Africa for Africans. All right, so French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed President Xi Jinping for a private dinner near Nice on Sunday as the Chinese leader tours Europe, seeking support for an ambitious economic program dubbed the New Silk Road. So I told you this, right? Wherever Xi Jinping goes, it's all about trade. It's all about business. Okay, so it's all about business. And China is buying the ports. Okay, you guys are complaining about Africa. Okay, China is buying up Europe as well. China has bought up most of the United States, or much of the United States. China has bought it. China has bought up much of Canada. Okay, so this is a global thing China is doing, and it's based on an ancient technique. Okay, ancient technique of China's superpower. Okay, ancient technique China does. They give loans to people. Okay, and if they cannot afford it, you become a subject to the Chinese empire. Okay, this is basically what China is doing now. Right, so Italy surprised its EU partners a day earlier when the Eurozone's third largest economy signed on to China's vast infrastructure investment program. So there you go. Italy has been bought off now by China. So there you go. China's vast infrastructure investment program, which spans more than 70 countries, despite warnings from Brussels. So Brussels is the European Union, the seat of the European Union. So, and the vitriol between Italy and France, the Italian government is calling out France for colonizing Africa. So basically, it is what it is. Italy's economy is in shambles, so they really need it. Portugal's economy is in shambles. Similarly, Spain is not doing too well. Okay, Greece is not doing too well. You know, I think Turkey is the only country that's kind of doing quite well in the Mediterranean, but mainly due to tourism. Okay, mainly due to tourism. So yeah, I'll leave this article in the description box. But you know, when the EU, Macron especially, is calling for that, okay, this is the face of colonization. Okay, he's very young, he's very smart, and he knows this is what he's doing, right? He knows. There's a comment here. Let's have a look. Nah, I can't get that comment. So might be down the article. No, it's not. Let's see. Give your comment. The article has one comment. Again, I cannot find a comment to read. Comments. So I cannot find a comment to read. Macron says, Agbeli Komaji. Okay. I can't see the comment. It's invisible comment. But yeah, the article will be in the description box. I don't want to extend my stream any further. So yeah, there you have it. Whenever China lands in your country, it's always about business. It's always about business. All right. It's always about business. And business promotes peace. Okay. You do business, you do trade, everyone benefits, everyone has food on the table. We're all laughing. Okay, we're all laughing. So yeah, family, I have successfully exhausted my topic for the day. I got hiccups because I'm a little bit thirsty. Thanks to everyone for joining the stream. Brother Hollip, thanks for joining the stream if you're still around here. Did you have a question for me? Not particularly. I am one person that just enjoys your lecture. Okay, I just enjoy your lecture, Brother Hollip, and I ask no questions. All right, because I'm not in doubt. All right, I'm not in doubt. So I can't remember any. I can't remember if I have any question for you, but I guess the only question I was trying to ask you is if you would consider relocating to Australia, because this is where the money is. All right, this is where the money is. All right, in the next 30 years, 31 years, when Australia's population becomes 50 million, you should know that there's going to be a lot of development here in Australia. A lot of businesses are gonna grow. So yeah, this is Africa. Thanks for joining the stream. We have B1 for life. Thanks for joining the stream. If you are watching a replay, yeah, leave some comments or questions in the comment section for me to address. And I guess that's it. So these are the known 3 people that were in the chat today. So thanks for joining the stream, family. And I hope to catch you guys in the next stream. So yeah, Pan-Africanism, again, the global unification of everyone of African descent. Okay. Global unification of everyone of African descent. So unification is at the forefront of Pan-Africanism. United, when you are united, okay, we can fix all our problems. Okay, so we unite first, we recognize one another as family. Okay, when we recognize one another as family, we can fix our problems. Okay, because if you're a family, you wouldn't want to hurt. Okay, you wouldn't want to hurt your brother. You will love your brother. You wish well for your brother. You will make sure your brother has food to eat. You make sure that your brother is safe. Okay, all these things come as benefits of being family. Okay, as benefits of being family. So that's Pan-Africanism. Okay, for those radicals. Okay, for radical part of Pan-Africanism, okay, you can take it to another level, where you say the global unification of and this has been a vision of Nkrumah, okay, so the global unification of everyone of African descent, okay, focusing a home base of oppression on the mother continent, with a sole purpose of supremacy. Yeah, with the sole purpose of supremacy. That's it. Okay, that's Pan-Africanism in a radical approach, or as proposed by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So Nkrumah's vision is unite Africa as one single entity, as a global force, as a global superpower. Okay, and that's what it is. Okay, that's what it is, and eventually that's what it's going to be. United Africa, one currency, one. It won't be one capital, but it's because it's so huge. There might be two capitals, federal capitals, or 3 or 4. And I wouldn't mind 4 capital cities for Africa, and business, trade, and stuff like that. Free movement. Okay, the one, what was it called? The one African passport. All is inclusive in Pan-Africanism. So yeah, so it's very, very important that we promote Pan-Africanism every chance we get. All right, every chance we get, and educate the family. So when I did my stream, the barbershop episode 4, okay, there were a whole lot of people that were not, well versed in Pan-Africanism, not very well educated, or not very have not been well educated about Pan-Africanism. So, but there is a brother that spoke really well about Pan-Africanism, and I'll edit that and I'll bring that out. Okay, and I'll post that. So check. Look forward to that. Okay, and yeah. So yeah, Pan-Africanism is well alive in 2019. Okay, the African Cup of Nations is a prime example of that. So yeah, let us go and support that. Let us social media, share it. Hashtag Pan-Africanism, hashtag African Cup of Nations. Okay, let's promote unity amongst Africans, okay, amongst people of African descent, okay, because nobody's gonna solve our problems for us but ourselves, okay. So it is what it is. So yeah, congratulations to Egypt for hosting the African Cup of Nations 2019, and I look forward to a spectacular showdown. Okay, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. So yeah, peace out to the family. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting Chiefdryno. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next stream. Peace out. One love. One love to all people of African descent. One love. One love. Peace out. Peace out.